The dog introductions.
Yeah.
Um, while growing up, my mom was a single mother working as a CNA at a nursing home, helping old people, and inspired me to start helping people wanting to.
Get to the part where you kill people.
I call him
He talks way
Lunchbox.
better than me,
His
bro.
sidekick there.
Yo, look at Charlie Kirk's face.
I call him Lunchbox.
Hang on, look at that. Dude, the dude is awesome. I love his facial expressions.
Sidekick there because he brought him along like a boxed lunch. They said, "Oh, well, you're not even from Kenosha. You know, you don't even live in Kenosha.
You're a
crossed
fucking
state lines,
poser,
all this
bro."
business." But it seemed to me when I was, hearing you speak about it, and then when you took the stand, you talked more about it, that it seemed like Kenosha did mean something to you.
It
that
did,
You had a lot of connections. So what does Kenosha mean to you?
Well, Kenosha,
dirty
my best friend
diapers.
Dominic lives there. My dad lives there. My entire family pretty much lives there. I go grocery shopping in Kenosha.
Why does he look
and
like he's
of
gonna
course
go
they have
fishing?
the best cheese curds in the world, as we all know.
Can confirm.
Maybe he
I've
is,
been
bro.
there a couple of
He's
times.
got his
since
fishing
all this-
rod
I was there, I
started.
guess 2 weeks after
More.
that happened, so I was there.
That's
like,
such a Republican kid thing to do, go fishing. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna go fishing with the Boy Scouts after we get molested.
September of last year, and then I've gone back a few times just to see it. And it's actually a really nice town. Like I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I went there with my brother. We had a great time.
Oh yeah,
We got molested by a church counselor too.
it's down to earth people who
Yeah.
it's
Who
just,
you like to molest
just
little
people
boys.
that are just like wanting to be. It's the Midwest. We call it
It's
Midwest friendly.
Miss West,
We
you
wave
know,
people driving
nobody's
down the
around
road.
when you scream.
Did you ever, I mean, obviously the answer is no, but talk to us what it was like, though, going from the mindset of, I want to help people on that night. That's your intent.
And you've
It's all-
got this great place, this town, this great
Yes,
town.
and you see the town starting to fall apart, and the next thing you know, your entire life gets put in jeopardy because you defend yourself, and you have to be called a murderer, a white supremacist, all of this. Talk about how
Did you say the N-word?
you dealt with that. How did you just? That's probably the most immediate
What
reversal a human
N-word?
being could go.
Did Kyle? Did you utter the N-word at any time during that protest?
through.
Oh. He's
How
like,
I dealt with that was I would block out social media. I wouldn't go on my phone. I would just not pay attention.
That's
to
not
any
true
of
because
that.
he was
I
on
just focus
TikTok. It came out in the court documents that he was on TikTok. He said he was on TikTok, so that's
Dang.
bullshit. He said he just wanted to be famous, bruh. That's a lie. Brother's a liar. He lied in court. He should be. He actually should go to jail.
on what's in front of me.
And so, Dave, I want to bring you into the conversation. So, Dave, you've kind of been, in some
Rittenhouse.
ways, like a
Rittenhouse, more like jailhouse. Am I right?
mentor, father figure to Kyle, and kind of
Look
being
at
a
his
family
dog, bro.
spokesperson.
It's
And
fucking
kind of
lab.
got thrown into this entire thing. Talk
Those are the best dogs. They're so happy.
about who Kyle
You
is
should
as a
teach them.
person, because this is not just
Hey, we bought a bald-headed guy to talk, and we're not gonna let him speak. So let's move on to Kyle. So Kyle, how do you feel about going over to Kenosha that night and attacking black people?
Facts of what happened, or they just don't want to get to know me as a person or just as a human.
and so, but how do you stay magnanimous? I mean,
That's a
you
big
don't
word.
seem as if you're bitter. I mean, you spent 87 days in jail. Like, I would be pretty upset about that. Not to mention having to go in front of the state of Wisconsin and be like, oh yeah, by the way, if we are able to persuade 12 people, you're going to spend the rest of your life in a prison cell.
To be honest, it does make me upset. I'm just like, there's nothing. It's out of my control, and the only thing I can do is stay humble and look at the positive in life.
And you want to now build a life. Some people aren't allowing you to do that, right? They're saying that, they want the Department of Justice probe or whatever to continue.
They're kicking him out of fucking college. They didn't let him attend college because he's Kyle Rittenhouse, and the students had a protest or a walkout or whatever, and so he
A
decided.
walkout.
Yeah, he decided to leave the college because he thought it was too heated for him to go.
Dang.
Forwarded this. As you were going through this, let's talk just kind of about the specifics of it. you're able to get out of jail, 87 days you were there, and then all of a sudden you have to start meeting with lawyers and your legal team and starting to mount a defense. And then the trial went underway. Talk about what that was like. Talk about the details and the specifics of you have to go every single day, and you're not allowed to say anything until you took the stand, which I want to ask you about. How much were you sleeping at those nights? Like, how are you dealing with that? You're an innocent person. In some ways, the process was the punishment.
Yeah, like we see you on screen, but what's it like behind the scenes during all that?
I'm Jack Pasovic. I also have to say something.
Well, how it is behind the scenes, I have my amazing team: Mark, Corey, Natalie, Joan, LT, Dave,
Don't forget about LT.
helping me through this and guiding me. Because believe it or not, I'm freaking out behind the scenes because you don't know what's gonna happen. So to have them to support me, helping me through this and
Did
explain,
they tell him to cry?
helping me stay calm.
They probably did coach him to cry. I'm gonna be honest. It was a good cry, but they probably he was probably crying the whole time, and the lawyers are like, yeah, do more of that.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking when I was just blank face, potted plant in court, I'm just saying in my head, is this guy serious? Referring to Lunchbox and Binger, also known as Littlefinger.
Yes. And there's one thing that I noticed about him. He's very level-headed.
Totally.
Absolutely level-headed. So
I try to look like Joe Rogan every day.
Under imminent,
Dang.
threat of death. I mean, it was calm, cool, and collected all the way through. So at what point in the trial were you all of a sudden like, okay, this is now going in a a direction that is somewhat favorable? Was there a turning point in the midst of the trial?
After I cried.
There's two actually. When I knew the state
After I cried.
is when
After I cried and I saw the reaction online, I thought I had a pretty good shot.
they had their opening statement.
Everyone forgot about what I did.
Yeah. After I cried, it just seemed like people realized that I was just a struggling boy with PTSD.
Sandwich really helped me.
Dang. But now I'm going fishing after the trip.
That's when I knew that
Free as fuck shirt.
they didn't have a case.
Dang.
So the opening statements you already knew.
Yeah, because he said I chased down Mr. Rosenbaum, which is not true.
Yeah, and so Jack, you were covering the trial, very extensively, and you deserve a lot of credit for that. Go ahead.
This question with Dominic Black and being put on, obviously there's still charges on Dominic regarding this. They're calling it a straw purchase, but it didn't sound to me like you had purchased it, or he purchased it for you. He purchased it and then held on to it. That's not a straw purchase, obviously.
until he was
And
18
then-
years old.
Right, until he's 18, right. And so,
But then how did he get the gun that night? Like, the dude, so his friend bought a gun for him and promised him not to give him the gun until he was 18. So how did he get the gun that night?
It was on his birthday.
It wasn't. He turned 18 while the trial was going on.
So maybe it was an early birthday present.
I don't know what happened exactly there. That's kind of fuzzy.
what I
It depends
couldn't,
on which
and I'm
state,
still to
what
this,
state he is in.
Well, in his state, he's able to carry at 17, but he's
Yeah.
not able to buy a gun at 17.
He
So
didn't
is
buy it,
someone
though.
right? So the decision was he was given a gun in the process of a riot, and because he's 17, he's able to carry a gun in that state. So it was fine for him to carry a gun.
Yeah, you just can't purchase a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's nothing really they can get him on.
He's able to be given a gun, but he's not able to purchase a gun, even though that gun was for him when he was 18.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
point trying to figure out
can't
what
get in trouble
exactly
for
was
getting
their
early birthday
strategy
gift.
for putting Dominic on the stand, because his story completely lined up with your story.
This is just speculation, but I think they called Dominic to the stand, hoping that he would lie. But Dominic was under oath and he told the truth.
They're
I
patriots, American patriots. They tell the truth always.
I'm watching it, and I'm trying to be, look, I remember watching it that night, and I remember
And I got a real big hard on.
seeing, and like I didn't know the name of Kyle Rittenhouse or Gage or Rosenblatt, any. I had no idea who any of you were.
I just saw a whole bunch of people get shot, and my dick got rock hard.
But I just knew that,
Dang.
you know, the guys that I would work with, like Richie McGinnis and Elijah Schaefer, Drew Hernandez, Julio Rosas, they were all there, and then BG on the scene as well. And I'm
Don't forget about BG on the scene.
watching these videos
BG.
come out, and I'm looking at this situation going, hey, wait a minute, they're chasing this guy, but the media is saying it the other way. And that's not what happened. And I can see these videos, and you guys are lying about this. And then so you would have to think that, okay, if I'm an adversarial prosecutor, I'm going to bring witnesses forward that are going to, you know, help my theory of the case. And to your point, in his opening statement, that's what he says. He says they were chasing you, or excuse me, that you were chasing them. But then the very next thing he does is bring on a witness that supports your side of the case.
Exactly. And
All their witnesses.
Well, yes, actually, that turned out to be a trend that we saw throughout the rest of the trial. Every single one of they were the ones who called Richie. You guys didn't even have to call Richie.
during his opening, when he said that, one of the things I was thinking, I was like, geez, I didn't know that he watched the videos backwards.
There was a meme of that where it was Binger, and he goes, well, all you have to do is play the video in reverse, and you can clearly see Kyle chasing them. Which is basically, I mean, for the amount of hocus pocus, right,
Hocus
that they did
pocus
on
is
these
out of focus.
hocus pocus out of focus that they did on these videos, it almost got to the point where they had to play the videos backwards because you couldn't find anything else on these things. But you know, one thing.
Do you think Charlie Kirk and Jack Posobiec fantasize about doing what Kyle did to those guys?
They want to be the, yeah. I mean, they know they can't do it, but.
Do you
they're
think they
"Yeah,
do they train at home with like a gun with no bullets in it, like rolling around their house, pretending they're
Yeah.
shooting like Antifa people?
Yeah, as soon as they get the chance to shoot minorities, bro, they're gonna do it.
They're gonna do it. They're so hard right now. It's ridiculous. They're like, wow, like this guy is right here in our presence. Let's just jerk him off as much as we can.
Because we can't jerk ourselves off because we didn't do it.
And the whole interview, it's 1 hour, so this is just 13 minutes. If you want to watch the whole interview, it's on Charlie Kirk's channel. 550,000 views.
Oh yeah.